here's the situation we're in. We need more clean energy to combat climate change. We need more land to grow food for billions of people. And we absolutely have to protect our natural ecosystems. It feels like you have to pick one, right? That a win for energy is a loss for food. But what if it doesn't have to be a choice? To really get why the solution is so brilliant, we first have to wrap our heads around the problem. And it all boils down to a major conflict over one thing we can't make more of: land. Our need for energy is just going through the roof. Now, the good news is we have an amazing tool: solar power. It's officially the cheapest and cleanest way to make electricity. It's a fantastic path forward. But there's a pretty big catch. And that catch is space. It's all about real estate. Switching completely to solar would take up huge amounts of land. And that puts our need for clean energy in direct competition with our need for food, because they both want the same thing: sunny, flat land. The idea is called agrivoltaics. I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but the concept itself is just beautiful in its simplicity. You put solar panels and you grow crops on the exact same piece of land at the exact same time. The research we're digging into today shows that the benefits here go way beyond just food and power. They actually ripple out across 6 totally interconnected areas of our lives and our planet. Researchers call this the 6S framework, and it helps us see agrivoltaics not just as a piece of tech, but as a systems innovation. What's that mean? Well, it means a positive change in one area actually creates a feedback loop, making things better in all the other areas too. So, what are these 6 spheres? Okay, we've got sustainability, soil, crop, socioeconomic, solar power, spatial efficiency, and species. Now let's look at some of the actual numbers this framework uncovers, because they're pretty mind-blowing. Let's start with sustainability, specifically water. The shade from the solar panels acts like a giant shield for the ground, which means way less water evaporates from the soil. In some studies, this cut the need for irrigation by nearly 80%. In a world that's getting drier and drier, that is a total game changer. Now for soil and crop. You'd think that shade would be bad for plants, right? Well, for a lot of them, especially in hotter climates, that little bit of relief from the sun is a lifesaver. It lowers stress on the plant. For crops like tomatoes, researchers saw yields literally double. We're talking more food from the same land with less water. Okay, let's talk about the socioeconomic sphere. And get ready for this, because this number is just wild. By harvesting 2 products from the same acre, crops and electricity, a farmer's income can just skyrocket. We're talking potential increases of up to 5,000%. That isn't a typo. This is a fundamental shift that could revitalize entire rural communities. And this stat really drives home the point about spatial efficiency. There's this measurement called the land equivalent ratio, or LER. An LER of 2.9, which some studies have found, means you're getting almost 3 times the productive value out of a single acre of land. It is just a massive leap in efficiency. Okay, so those numbers are amazing for a single farm. But what happens if we think bigger? What happens when we scale this idea up for the whole planet? Well, the numbers get even crazier. Let's take a real-world example. If Germany were to put agrivoltaics just on its potato farms, that alone could generate an extra $3.9 billion in revenue. And remember, that's just one crop in one country. Now let's zoom out. If we apply that same idea across the globe for all the crops that could benefit, the potential extra income is a jaw-dropping 1.7 times trillion dollars. Just to put that in perspective, that is bigger than the entire economy of countries like Australia or Spain. But you know, it's not just about the money. What about the food itself? The research estimates that a global rollout could produce an extra 1.8 billion tons of food. So what does a number that big actually mean for people? It means we could grow enough extra food to feed more than 2 billion people every single year. This isn't just a small improvement, it's a giant leap toward ending world hunger. So there's another layer to this. There's a piece of tech that takes this whole thing from great idea to absolutely revolutionary. The innovation that makes agrivoltaics so much more than just putting panels over plants. So what is it? The magic is in a specialized nano coating that's applied to these semi-transparent solar panels. This isn't just about letting some light sneak through. No, this coating actively changes the quality of the light to basically supercharge the plants growing below. It's incredible. Okay, so how on earth does that even work? How can a simple coating on a solar panel optimize sunlight? Well, it all comes down to knowing exactly what kind of light plants crave to grow. Let's get into the science of it. The way it works is actually pretty brilliant. First, that nano coating absorbs harmful UV radiation, the stuff plants don't really like. Then, it cleverly converts that energy and shoots it back out as red spectrum light. And why red light? Because that is the absolute perfect fuel for photosynthesis. It's like giving the plants their favorite 5-star meal. And just to be clear, this isn't some pie-in-the-sky idea. This technology is real. It's patented by a company called Bright Solar, and it was designed from the ground up specifically for farming. It's a purpose-built solution for the future of agriculture. So when you put all these pieces together, it becomes really clear. We're not just talking about a clever way to install solar panels. We are talking about a totally new vision for what agriculture could be in the future. And this is the key takeaway. Agrivoltaics basically rewrites the rules of the game. It shifts us from a world of scarcity and competition to one of synergy and abundance. It fundamentally redefines our relationship with the land that we all depend on. Which really just leaves us with one final, pretty important question. This isn't science fiction. The tech is here right now. The data is becoming clearer every day. So if one simple, elegant idea can do all this, feed billions, power the planet, and help heal our ecosystems, really, what are we waiting for?